members. They plan events that foster community and offer hospitality at parish events. Likewise, they provide a written report to the pastoral council. And then finally, the finance council is an advisory body to both the pastor and the pastoral council in areas of administration, human resources, facilities, finances, budgets, and long-range financial development. And their chairman is a voting member of the pastoral council. When I spoke earlier about resources that were available to you, diocesan resources, perhaps the single most important one is our archdiocese website. It's very easy to Google and find, and once you're there, of course, you can't see this. But the tab that I've highlighted up there is Pastoral Center Offices, and underneath that is a tab for, or a button for leadership development and pastoral planning. Of course, I highlighted those because I was thinking of pastoral council, but there are many resources available to the various committees on this website as well. And I would really encourage you to take a look at that. This particular hit is just to the pastoral planning and leadership development segment of their website. And the Vision 2000 document is listed there on the left, and our parish pastoral council information is also readily available on this site. And you can also find contact names for staff resources there at the diocese that I think you'll find will be very helpful. We've come to a point where we have the opportunity to talk about the various things that are going on in the standing committees. And so perhaps I could start, since I've already kind of given you a nod, Bill, would you mind sharing with us some of the upcoming developments? Yeah, Cindy.
Because of the schedule, we can allow about 3 minutes per meeting.
Oh, yeah.
So I do have my...
Cindy's my time. She has a 30-second yield sign.
I've got my 60 seconds, meaning you still have a minute to go, keep going. My 30-second caution, and my stop. So
This
I
is your
will
opportunity to
try
go get some food, just in case you have to throw it at the timekeeper. Bill, would you mind sharing with us some of the things that are coming up in the next month or so, stewardship?
The best thing I can say is pay attention, because there's a long program coming up, I think the next 8 weeks, with an important emphasis on stewardship of treasure. We've already had stewardship exercise about a year ago. We had a time and talent emphasis in April or so. And now we're beginning the third bite, time, talent, and treasure. We're beginning the treasure portion. It'll be a long educational process. Every Sunday there'll be a column in the bulletin, perhaps a homily, perhaps a lay witness box, and bulletin inserts, all on the topic of stewardship, broadly speaking, and stewardship of treasure, especially for this next 8 weeks. That's our emphasis for now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Tim, can you
Tell us who else is on the committee and anything about this area recently?
Oh,
Sorry.
I have to apologize because I didn't invite the other members of the committee. The only one who's here, he's resigned, is Paul Fell. Paul has been,
I like to call it fulfilling my 3-year obligation.
Well, and all the committee members were invited, and I think we have another committee member, Emil. Are you not?
Evil is here, yes. Join
And if there are others?
all offices.
We're going to have to be sure to project voices
Yeah,
because
I think that person.
I'm getting old and my hearing's going.
And Pam McPeak is the final member, and Pam is on vacation.
And Kathy Beth.
Johnny
Kathy
Bell
Best.
Hoffman?
Kathy Best, sorry.
Who was the last there?
Kathy Best.
Kathy Best.
Yes, okay, okay. Thank you, Bill.
leadership team met for the first time on June 12th. Joanne shared with us the history, purpose, and functions of the committee. We brainstormed on many ideas to build a sense of belonging and community for all parishioners. Several committee members shared their own experiences when they joined other parishes. They shared how the other parishes made them feel welcome and not an anonymous member, even in parishes that are much larger than St. Cecilia. We decided to focus on a more direct and personal approach to welcoming new parishioners. Joan received the new registered members list for the first 4 months of 2013, and Lois, Sue, Joan, and Paula divided the list and contacted the new parishioners by phone. Sue and, Lois and Sue will give a brief report on this project. In conjunction with the phone calls, we decided to plan a tour of the parish for our new parishioners. 3 of our members are currently working on a plan for the tour, which will include a little church history, a video from Life Teen, and a reception after the tour. We have set the date of August 25th for our first tour. I will now turn this over to Lois to report on the new parishioners welcoming project.
Okay, thank you. Again, I'm Lois Lemcool, Joan Jones, Sue Seaton, Paula Weigel, and myself received from January 2013, everybody that was claiming as newly registered. We found that many of those people had been here 5 to 10 years, but had not registered. So we began calling them. We are now through and working on the June 2013 registrants. When we call them, we thank them for registering. We ask them if they have any questions. We verify their registration information and if needed, update information with the parish office. We also are sure that the contact information for the various offices is given to them. Already we have done things like networking for coffee and donuts, exchange of contact information, education, religious ed, etc. The most important thing is we're working with Carlotta Gutierrez with the Spanish ministry. They will actually be the first group that we are going to give a tour of the facilities to, and it will be them that we will have on the 25th of August. Carlotta is translating Father Jim's welcome letter, so it will be in Spanish, and she is looking at each Spanish member that's registering to let us know if we should contact them in a written Spanish welcome, a separate little note from Father Jim's, or by a telephone call. So far, we've met people here at Coffee and Donuts. We have given the religious ed office information, to get religious ed information out to them. So we've been very active so far.
That's great, that's great. Mary, anything to share for social justice?
Well, it's the 10th anniversary of the Black Bag.
Would you mind coming up? It sounds.
I'm here with Doreen Berg and Julie Haas, who are 2 past chairs of social justice. The Black Bag is the 10th anniversary this year, and that's how we get the money, and we decide how to distribute it, and we're always willing to listen to anybody who has an opinion. We're still doing a quarterly newsletter, which was done at the suggestion really of the Archdiocese. They wanted us to communicate better to the parish what we're doing, so that was started a couple years ago. Currently, the main projects, Doreen is on the Good Neighbor Board, and they're going to be moving into parsonage. It will be rent-free, so that will save them like $6,000 a year, so that's a huge thing. That's one of the major donations that we make each month is to Good Neighbor. And we're just starting to look into working with St. Thomas Aquinas on their Honduras sister parish. Just starting. I've called and asked if they might come and talk to us a little bit about what they do, and looked up their site on the internet and kind of seen what they do. So that's pretty much what we're doing.
If I see anybody from the Finance Council here this evening. Okay, how about, what?
Rick is
Oh,
here.
yeah, Rick stepped out just a moment.
excited to have our two new members, Rita Hayes and Rosemary Wilson, and we're going to continue our visioning process, which I think should wrap up in the next year. And we're also, of course, working with Catholic School Board on the many issues and all of the youth catechism and adult catechism. Alpha for Catholics, yes, which is going to be starting here soon. So, do you want to talk about Alpha? Should I put you on the spot now? Okay.
Well, everybody in this room should plan to attend.
Yes.
How will it be introduced to the parish?
Sure. Okay. Good question. We just, the Alpha Leadership, good evening, Tom Primer, Director of Faith Formation. The Alpha Leadership team met last night and we talked about promotion and publicity that we'll be putting forth. So you'll see some banners, some bulletin announcements, some personal invites, some little tickets, yes, like a business card that will have information on it. The Alpha course is an international course of just the basics. It's Alpha means beginning. You know, it's the first letter of the Greek alphabet, if I remember my Greek correctly. It's not the Alpha and Omega. It's just the Alpha. It's beginning. And so it's the study basically of the creed, the creed of our faith. And will give you an opportunity to invite either yourself, your spouse, your kids, your friends, your neighbors, anyone around you to come to a meal, to watch a video presentation put on by Nikki Gumbel, who is the rector of Holy Trinity Brompton Church in London, England. You get to learn some Nikki-isms, so through the program. There will be 66, I told you we need to sign up. So then there will be formation groups, small group formation through the program. It's a 10-week program with a one-day retreat in the middle, and it's an experience. It's a life-changing experience. Start date is tentative for September 7th, but after some conversations last night, we might be October 1st because we're trying to get the small group leaders in place.
Childcare.
Sure, will be free childcare.
That's Saturday morning.
Saturday mornings. Yes.
They're all excited.
Well, I was going to ask, is the setting a small group or a larger group setting?
It starts out in a large group setting, so we'll plan to be here in the social hall with the meal. The kids will eat, families can eat together, and then when we transition to the video presentation, then the kids will go off to childcare. Then the video will be presented, and then after the video, there's a dessert since it's a Saturday morning, we have a bowl for dessert. And then we'll break up into different rooms around the parish facilities, and you'll form your small group. And so then the small groups will have a script to go through, some questions. No one is forced to talk in a small group. If you just want to sit and listen to the conversation, you can sit and listen to the conversation, but over that 10 weeks, your heart and mind are transformed, and you learn and you grow. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your spiritual walk, your spiritual journey, it's going to renew your faith in Christ and draw you closer in relationship with Him. The Nicene Creed. Since it's an international program, it's also ecumenical. So it's all those Christian bodies that submit to the Nicene Creed. It's the Nicene Creed. Did you have a question?
Including the homoousios clause?
Yes. Not
The
homoousios.
filioque?
Yes, and the filioque. Yes.
And last, yes. Rick, there. Would you like to share anything that's going on in the Finance Council with us, if you have something?
I can try. Charlotte would probably do better, but it's up here. The Finance Council, we just ended our fiscal year, which goes from July 1st to June 30th. There's been a little bit of confusion about it, but Charlotte, coming from around this, every year the Finance Council sets up a budget for the operations of the parish. I call that the operating budget. And if we have a year where we bring in more money than we spend on operating, then that kind of goes into a savings account. Some years we've spent more than we brought in, and then we've got a dip from our savings account. So this last year, we actually, our operating budget is in the black, but we did have some big kind of one-time expenditures, like is the furnace, Sharp, is that our big?
Well, we've done some Johnson controls, and heating and cooling has been the biggest thing.
So those probably made our savings account get down a little bit. So going forward, the Finance Council's actually budgeted for a deficit year. They kept what we anticipated in collecting the same, but they have expenditures that have gone up every year just because your heating costs go up, your salaries costs go up and whatnot. And they didn't like to do that. They kind of plugged their nose when they did it. And we need to kind of make it clear that we can't do that year over year, but because we've had some good years in the past, they passed the budget that way. So we're counting on that stewardship push to really help us, and we just kind of see where things go from there. But that's kind of the update on the finance. Any questions?
Other members? Rick, go ahead, list off some of the other members of finance.
Members of the finance, Joel Tilges is the chair. John Nelson retired after 20 years. Yeah. Mark Hansen is on that committee.
Donna Clancy,
Johnny Clancy,
Janet Caswell.
Janet Caswell. Mark Moore. Mark Moore is a new member. And I'm getting in the way of saying it. Anybody else you think of, Chuck?
Did you want to say anything, Charlotte? He's doing just fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
John, would you like to share some news with us about the liturgy? Sure. All right.
We have the most fun. We're the liturgy people. Some of our coordinators are here. Todd's here, and he's our coordinator for the mass coordinators. And I guess he had some training tonight. Did that go well? Yeah. And Bill Haas has been a standing member of the committee for many years and helps a lot with outside environment and during the Christmas year. Cindy's here tonight, and are you still? I noticed there was an email that said that you may do a different committee, or you?
So far, I'm still on liturgy as a lady.
Still on liturgy. She's helped out and helped establish the Eucharistic Adoration Committee at our parish, and our Eucharistic Adoration at our parish, and we thank her for that. And Gary Kay, just Gary's here. I always say Gary and Kay. And Deacon Gary's been on and of course our prime representative is Father Jim on the liturgy committee. Of course, all of our coordinators, they continually are recruiting people to become to be active in ministries throughout the church. I know that recently we've had a few people join the music ministry. We've actually been blessed to have some youth that have joined us lately, especially on Saturday night. That's been great. We're having our parish-wide liturgical formation night on September 19th on a Thursday, which is the Thursday before the Tulsa game, if you're looking at your football calendar. So then let's see. If there's anything else. It's going to be a busy fall for the, especially members in the choir. There's an archdiocesan opportunity to participate in a workshop in Waterloo this fall. We're also hosting the Good Neighbor concert in conjunction with the Social Justice Committee. And let's see there, and of course we're always preparing for liturgies on and on and
Catholic School Board.
Catholic School Board, we can share information. Would you like to share some information for us and what's going on there?
I'm Dwayne Wolf with the Catholic School Board. Other school board members tonight with us are Steve Husted, Jason O'Brien, one of our new members, and Tricia Lenz, our second new member. Two members who aren't here are Jason Mortimer and Daryl Bennett. Believe it or not, school starts in less than a month. Summer got off to a slow start with the weather, but believe it or not, it's going to be here before we know it. The 22nd is when we start school. We will be welcoming a new principal. Irv Rollins joins us this fall. He is a lifelong administrator. He comes to us most recently from Storm Lake St. Mary's, which ironically is my high school alma mater. I had my 25-year high school reunion about a month ago, and some of my classmates who have kids in the school were sad to see him go, so they spoke very highly of him. That's really our big thing. He starts full-time August 5. I got an email from Lois today about some sort of welcoming for him at one of the masses, so we'll be trying to kick that off here probably sometime between our first board meeting, which is August 6th, and when school starts. So somewhere in the middle of August, we'll probably try to work with Father, Lois, and Irv to get a welcome in for him. Our first board meeting is August 6th, so I guess that's when we'll kind of kick off our school year. Thank you.
Let's just finish. Almost everybody's been introduced. Maybe we just do pastoral council. There's 9 elected members, and then the 3 appointed. We kind of covered that already a little bit. So I'm Tim Sabadanus with pastoral council. Go ahead and stand up and introduce yourselves once they're here. Already has.
I'm here.
Cindy Balco.
Cindy Balco.
Todd Clancy.
Todd Clancy. Jim Stewart. Stewart is Ray Grimmeyer.
And now here's Chris Gross.
Yes.
And oh yeah, we usually have 2 student representatives too. We still need to work out who they are. Oh, and this year we're also working on adding appointed member from the Hispanic community. We're trying to get a contact for that. And our major things we've been working on also are the matrix, which we're going to talk about later tonight, and then also we should probably mention the facilities report.
Coming up in
We're going to talk about that. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
thank you, Tim.
Thanks.
And of the 2 youth representatives, David Nelson has agreed to continue on. And so I sent an email to Anna. Anna Steele usually recommends another youth for us. We're looking for a junior so that we can keep leapfrogging the youth in and out of the pastoral council. Very good, thank you. We now have an opportunity to open it up to question and answer. We set a few minutes aside, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Rick. Are there any burning questions out there? Great.
Yes, Terry, the only question that I have, Terry, is are minutes being posted on the website for the committees and commissions, or where are we at with that?
I've been negligent in putting the pastoral council minutes up there. They're currently all up there up through May. And June's not up there, but will be approved in August, so we'll post them then. But it's an exercise I think all of the committees could help with. I don't even know who posts the minutes for the other committees. Do they typically get funneled to one individual, Bill or Randy?
There's 2 main ways that the minutes are promulgated. In one case, they are simply included in the minutes of the pastoral council as attachments. It's their reports to the pastoral council get included in the pastoral council minutes. The other way is most websites, or most committees and commissions have a page on the website where they can post their own minutes. And some are doing social justice, for example.
The reason that some of the set up a link to them on the website, or whether we should push them up there some other way.
If, once those minutes are approved in a meeting, someone wanted to send that into the parish office, then we could get that on the bill easily.
Okay, that's a good thought.
So whoever the secretary is, just remember to send that copy to Kathy or Dawn in the parish office, and then, or send them directly to Bill.
Yeah, send them directly to Bill or the parish office, but we have representatives from every standing committee here, so if you would mind taking that information back to your committee and talking about how you can retrieve those, we'll certainly archive that information for you, and it does make it accessible. Yeah.
I think it would be reasonable to think about submitting notes, like the stewardship committee does. There, to the best of my knowledge, there is no requirement that the committees and commissions even keep minutes of their meetings.
So they don't have to be approved, you can just.
That's my suggestion.
That way it'd be more pertinent, more up to date. Keep it up.
I think the important thing is that what information is transmitted is timely.
Yeah.
I hazard to think, though, if we just do away with taking minutes and leave it up to notes, it may not be as, the information may not be as complete. I don't know, I guess I'm not sold on the idea of notes, but
Can you update your minutes at the next meeting?
yeah. It's almost a regular procedure. It's easy to follow somebody's standard meeting practices rather than just kind of make notes to yourself. Yeah, so,
Do we post like draft
no,
minutes? No, we don't have enough.
no.
It's been a
It's a
year
bad
or so
practice.
since I've read through the Faith Formation Commission bylaws, but I think it's stated very clearly there that communication needed to be kept. Now, I haven't read through, maybe Ben or Tom have read through it recently, or,
And I honestly
but,
don't something. Well, it might be just something to explore for each of the various committees. It certainly is helpful to the rest of the parish if that information is available to them, especially like on a new committee when so much is going to occur over a short period of time. Right?
And just, we send ours directly to Bill, and like by the next day,
Yeah.
they're on our
Oh, yeah,
webpage. And he's also been on newsletters in case anybody wants information on a certain group that we don't have to worry about.
But you send the approved ones, right?
Right.
You don't send any draft. She sends the ones after they've been approved.
Yeah.
One of the magic words has just been mentioned, newsletter. I think there is a groundswell